All righty. Hey there, Epic investors. Welcome to the Epic Real Estate Investing Show. This is where we show people how to invest in real estate so they can escape the daily grind and retire early. Today, we got some cool things we're going to talk about, but I do have to make a disclaimer that we've got some AC duct work going on in the office. And this was not planned, but they're here. They haven't been too loud, but if it becomes a distraction, that's what's going on. Hopefully, it'll be okay. But today, we're going to talk about a couple of different strategies for creating passive income using real estate that a reasonably new real estate investor and private RIA's client has been able to pull off in just the last 6 months or so. And so we're going to talk about how he found them and how he structured his passive income streams. But before we begin, if this is your first time here, really glad that you found us. If you like what you hear, make sure you hit the subscribe button before you go. And if this is not your first time here, welcome back. And thank you for sharing this with your friends and family. You're the absolute best for doing that. So thank you. And as a gift to you, if you're still looking to get that first deal done, or it's been a while since you got the last one, I put together a free training for you, and you can find that link in the description. Or, when we're done here today, you can go ahead and go to mattsfreetraining.com, mattsfreetraining.com. And then last thing before we start, let's see. If you'd like to go fast, like our guest here today is, how he's doing by working together one-on-one, head over to reiace.com. Answer a few short questions about yourself and your goals, and then you can pick a time for us to hop on the phone and brainstorm some ideas about getting you to where you want to go with your real estate investing. All right? It's all about you. So, perfect. So my guest today, I'll just bring him on here. Please help me welcome to the show, Mr. Willie Booker. Willie, welcome to the Epic Real Estate Investing Show.
Hey, Matt. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Glad you can make it. I know you're managing a day job and you're doing your real estate on the side. So I really appreciate you making time for us. I know everyone's going to want to hear how you've been able to do what you've been able to do. So let's talk about your deals. Let's talk about your passive income. But first, can you tell me what it was that you were trying to accomplish when you found Epic? Were there any challenges, specific problems that you're trying to overcome?
I would say for me, what I was trying to accomplish was obviously financial independence. But if we dig deeper into that, it's having the freedom, option, and choice to make that decision. For me, if I want to be at my 9 to 5, I would love to have that decision if it's suitable for me and my family at that point in time.
Right.
So for me, that's what I've been chasing, is that freedom, option, and choice.
Got it. So what will it mean to you personally if you are able to, if you're able to get that done?
Oh man, it'll mean the world to me. I think for me personally, I just operate from a position of fear. So the reason why I even started in real estate investing was because it was at the beginning of COVID, and I'm just seeing people do the right things. They're putting money in their 401k. They're going to their 9 to 5. And when COVID happens, it's just the money that they just put away. They don't have control of it. And I didn't want to be in that situation.
Right.
And also for me, I want to be in a position of being able to take care of my family or my mother, right? There's going to be a point in time where she needs me. And I want to be set financially of when that time comes. Okay, mom, what do you need? What do you want? I got you. So it's just being able to get to that point of having some sort of control.
Right. We all want to take care of mom, don't we?
Yeah.
For sure. So you joined the RIA's program, and you also invested in our one-on-one fly out to your market, where you had Jeremy, one of our
Mhm.
Epic coaches here, come out and work with you in your market for a few days. What did you find most valuable about that experience?
I would say what I've learned from the experience is um, it allowed me to truly understand what it takes to be a flipper, or the analytical approach that you need to have once you're under contract. And I would say that would be something that I took away from it. With that would be that piece. Um, I remember I know you haven't gotten into it, but I came to you about this, where it's when I'm at the seminar and I hear about these different strategies, and I termed it as you're going a mile wide but only an inch deep. And for me, that's what I felt victim to, was that piece of it, of like, man, I'm hearing these great strategies. They sound so sexy. let me
Mhm.
try it. And I want to do, and I got home and I want to do all of it. And it's just life tends to slap you in the face. And it's like, no, you ain't doing that today. And
Uh-huh.
so for me, what I had to do and had to figure out is what was the need that I need to solve for myself. And of course, it's being able to get have passive income. But how can I do that? Am I really married to those strategies that will allow me to get to that goal for me, right? So what I need to accomplish for myself is establish an income floor. So that's why for me, I had to repivot and focus on buy and hold for right now, so that I can focus on maybe buying properties creatively, or being able to flip, where I'm able to amplify my cash position so that I can buy more real estate. So it's just thinking about it differently so that I can attack those strategies that I did learn in the seminar
Right.
and from the one-on-one fly out.
Right. Yeah, we're entrepreneurs, right, at heart, and we see all of these different things that we want to do, and we just have these big dreams. We want to go bigger and bigger and bigger, and I suffer from the same stuff, and I just have to remind myself to focus on, okay, what's working. Let's go deeper with that and optimize that before we jump ship and try to add something else. Because a lot of times you start chasing all these things, and then you kind of lose focus on what was actually working. So great lesson. So I guess up to this point, you shared with me via text before we started. What have your biggest wins been so far?
My biggest wins up to date is that I have one property in Milwaukee, and I have two under contract right now. They're all single families, but again, this it's for me. I found a market that it for me it's a cash flow play for me, and I found a market where I can get deep into and have deep connections with my realtor, with my property manager, and also the lender. So I'm thinking for me, I'm developing the relationships to be able to go deep into Milwaukee.
That's good. You'd mentioned one thing. Uh, you did some sort of. You live in Seattle, right? There's a sort in Washington, Seattle out there. Okay, and you did the house hacking also. So we'll talk about your rentals in just a sec. But
Mhm.
that's something that a lot of people talk about, but I don't think a lot of people actually pull off. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, I was reading a Bigger Pockets book. It was like a house hacking book.
Hmm.
So the goal for me was to um, one, purchase the property with cheap debt. So I have the VA loan, so I can purchase the property 0% down. But one of the benefits of house hacking is that it reduces one of my most expensive living expenses. So for me in Seattle, my mortgage is over $3,400 a month. So if I have a tenant that can pay $2,400,
Hmm.
that's making a significant chunk
Right.
in that living expense. So for me, it was an easy decision. So it's just being uncomfortable temporarily,
Hmm.
um, for a long term gain.
Nice. So did you purchase that property just through traditional means then?
Yep, it was on MLS, through a realtor.
Okay.
I bought it in an area that isn't um, is up and coming. It's near a light rail station. So for me, I tend to purchase properties that are near light rail stations, or some structure that's going to be there for a while.
Mm.
So it typically speaking, when those structures are there for a while, the value tends to hold. So
Right.
that for me, that was my logic, and that's how I approached it.
Perfect. So you've got a one rental already in Milwaukee. How did you find that first one, the one that you've closed and you actually own?
Um, it was through the realtor. He set me
Okay.
up on a search. For me, I just kind of took away what Jeremy showed me. Like he has like this tracker, and you have to do it every day.
Right.
And of like the numbers of like, here's your cash on cash, here's the rents, here's the cash flow, and I just tracked it every single day. And I had an understanding of, okay, yeah, that's my deal. Let me go tackle it. And that's how I approached it. The second one, it was off market. The ones that are under contract right now, they're off market.
Got it. And you found those through marketing efforts? Which ones?
No, no, it's through the realtor.
Oh, through the realtor. Okay. So you've been able to create the relationship and kind of leverage their efforts, their connections, and that's how you've been able to pull your deals together.
Right. Yeah.
Super. All right. So that first one, what is that producing right now as far as the cash
The
flow on that one?
So the rents on the first one is 950 rough, give or take. The mortgage is around um mortgage is 424. So I'm cash flowing around 361 a month.
Okay.
Um
So you got the 361, and then you've got the house hacking thing about another what, 2,600 bucks, 2,500 bucks, something like that.
yeah.
Okay. So they're very good. And then you got two more under contract. So what are your plans for those? Same thing?
Buy and hold. Yeah, it's buy. I'm gonna just buy and hold for right now. So here's my plan, and just kind of go back what I said before. Just focus on one strategy at a time.
Yep.
Is that for me? If I go deep into buy and hold and out of state markets, um, for me, I'm able to create a system that will
Mhm.
allow this strategy to feed upon itself, meaning that I'll have the cash flow to buy even more real estate, or even I could leverage the equity to go to a bank and get a secure line of credit and buy even more properties. But the goal for me would be to do a 1031 exchange into probably an apartment building and just
Mhm.
then use the cash flow from the apartment building to go buy more properties out of state in like these duplexes or
For
single
sure.
family and rinse and repeat. So that for me,
Mhm.
that's what I'm thinking. It sounds good in my head, but right
Yeah.
now it's just acquiring these properties and just getting singles and doubles. That's the game
Right.
right now. Just get momentum, get confidence, and just keep moving.
That's how you win the World Series, right? Singles and doubles. Um, Perfect. So I know people are probably thinking, how are you acquiring these properties? How are you paying for them? Or
It's a number of ways. It's
traditional
not it's
means?
not uh yeah, you can say that. So yeah, yeah, it's traditional. Yeah, I would say it's traditional. So I've used some of my cash to purchase the deals. I've also leveraged my assets. So I have a whole life insurance policy that I would leverage the cash value to take out a policy loan to for a down payment.
Okay. It's like an
Um,
infinite banking strategy then.
yeah, it's infinite
Nice.
banking. So I've
Very good.
used that. Another one I've used is I would leverage my stocks. Um, I'll do a stock portfolio loan, a margin loan to
Mhm.
purchase property as well. Um, and another strategy that I haven't really used yet is that you could, if you have decent credit, you can go to a bank and and get a personal line of credit. These are unsecured lines of credit, so you can leverage that for a down payment. But
Right.
if you're doing it on the personal side, you would have to make sure that it's seasoned in your bank account. But you
Mhm.
may need to talk with your lender to see how long those funds need to be seasoned in your account. But that money is there for that purpose for me.
Super. So you've been really resourceful. I mean, first we tapped into the VA loan, right? Second, we tapped into a cash value life insurance policy using the infinite banking strategy, which is something that I do over here myself. And
Hmm.
then you went and leveraged some other assets as far as your stocks go, right? And
Hmm.
now you're leveraging your credit score and tapping into banks lines. It's fantastic. And what's nice about all of that, it's all tax free, right? It's all borrowed money, and hopefully, if the powers that be, the current administration, don't get their way, it'll stay that way.
Fingers
But
crossed.
anyway,
Fingers crossed.
that's good. Let's see. So I guess out of all that, while you're working a full time job and you're doing the real estate on the side, what are the most valuable lessons you've learned so far?
That's a good that's a good
Mhm.
question. Um, just be consistent. I think that's the one thing. It's for a while I was just so married to a certain strategy because it sounds so sexy. It'll be good to go to meetups and say, hey, I'm doing this with an off market seller. It was on creative terms and it sounds great, but it's like no no one is for me, it doesn't matter how I get to the point as long as I
Right,
get
right.
there. So for me, it's just not being married to an idea and just knowing when to pivot and when not to pivot, and just being consistent. I think for me, that's what I've been um, kind of just focused on. And it's like when I came to you, when I had the when we had our chat, I was like down in the dumps because I was just doing so much at one time, and I was just burning both ends of the candle. Where I'm not being a good employee in my 9 to 5, and then I come out after not after 5, I'm doing the real estate stuff, and it's just I'm just churning and burning, and
Right.
it's not I'm not seeing the results I need to see, and it's just tough to get out of bed every morning or wake up every single day, and you're trying to give 100% to your goals, and you're not seeing what you need to see. So it's just being able to kind of have the mental fortitude of like it's I'm not going to be where Matt is. It's not going to happen overnight, and maybe the reason why it's not happening because I'm not ready for it yet. So these lessons that I'm learning of these trials and tribulations, um, it's going to make me a better investor. And for me, that's what I've kind of taken away from is just embrace the journey, just embrace the downfall, and just be consistent. Like it's like being hit by a pitch. Like for me, when I was playing little league, I was so afraid of the pitcher because I'm afraid of getting hit, and I've never been hit. But once you get hit, it's like it's not that bad. You ain't throwing that hard, so it's like it's the same thing. So it's just
Yeah.
once you go through it, 5 years from now, I won't even remember this. I won't even remember that this conversation I had with you. Like it'd be on the forefront of my mind, but it'd be like, yeah,
Right.
it wasn't that big of a deal. I've had bigger issues than this, so
For sure.
it's just because we're going through it right now. That's why it's a big issue, but it's just being consistent at the end of the day.
Yep. And to touch on something you said, I mean, first of all, you are ready for it. And you said a couple things that leads me to believe that and believe it with absolute conviction. And this is something a lot of people challenge when they come into investing and they're learning how to find off-market deals. And they're learning cool little strategies, as whether it's acquisition strategies or exit strategies. And here's just a good example. Someone sends out a bunch of yellow letters, right? They're sending out direct mail. And all of a sudden, a realtor calls them up and say, hey, I've got a deal for you. They close on that deal, but they feel like it doesn't count. Like, well, that didn't really come from my direct mail, right? It didn't count. That wasn't a creative strategy, and it's not really worthy of talking about. But what happens is just by being in the mindset in the space and exercising that consistency, that you become like you're aware. So you did something that caused that realtor to call you because of your consistent activity, right?
Yeah.
So even though it might not have been directly from your efforts, it happened indirectly 100% because of your efforts. So you're right. It doesn't matter how you get there, just as long as you get there. And if you're getting
Mm-hmm.
it done the way you're doing it right now, then that's good enough. That's exactly what we're doing this for. So congrats on that. What are 3 things that you liked best about working with Epic?
3 things that I like best working with Epic. One is the availability. Um, I've done other masterminds or mentorship programs, and the ones that I've been to or were a part of, it was more of it was like 1 to like 2 or 300, and I just didn't have access to the person who spoke so highly of his or her program. And it's just what tends to happen is that I don't have availability. I can't ask questions. I can't engage the way I want to. So it kind of hampers the learning and makes me question of why did I choose this mentorship program in the first place. I would say that would be, for me, that was number one. The difference is that I have access to you, and I have access to your team as well. If I had a question, someone's answering my question, and it's like for me, it 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 ramps up the learning process for me. Even with the 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 calls, it helps as well. Number two is it would be even these kind of check-ins for me. Like this, I like that we're doing this. I like that you meet with students and doing this, but for me, it holds me accountable, right?
Mhm.
Because I'm sitting here telling you what I'm doing, and it's like, okay, now I got to keep doing it because now someone's watching me. So it's
Right.
like it gives me an indication that you care at the end of the day, and it's like for me that's it's not just a paycheck to you, and it's like that for me. I can see it. I can sense it. Number three, it's the content.
Mhm.
Um, I learned about you on YouTube, you were doing a interview with Zach Ginn. He's a wholesaler, but you were talking about creative financing, and you talked about it in a way that it wasn't talked about from the masses, and that's what grabbed me to your program, and it attracted me to you. And when I was going through the content, it's so in depth. There's so much knowledge in there, and it's just it ranges from financing. It ranges from strategies. It's A to Z, all of it. And it's like if the thing is, if you don't succeed, it's because you don't put in the work or you don't put in the effort. Depending on your goals or strategies, but the content is there. It's there to put you in a position to be successful. It's not one of those it's not the program or the content available. It's not like, hey, it's good enough, we're just going to package it out, and you kind of you fill in the blanks with the rest. It was very comprehensive, and it was easily understood, and I would say it was well thought out.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Can you finish the sentence for me? I almost didn't work with Epic because.
I didn't almost work with Epic because I almost didn't work with Epic because of me, if that makes sense. I think for me, I'm my biggest critic of no one's doing this. So it's like, for me, where I come from, like, nobody's going to be doing the things I'm doing. It's like the rooms that I'm in, they don't talk about real estate investing. So I get a lot of side eyes when I'm talking about Meta. I'm talking about the program that I'm in. So it was making sure that I got out of my own way so that I'm able to take advantage of the opportunity. And I think the reason why it was almost a possibility of not me doing this is because I couldn't see it. And I think that's probably the case for a lot of people, is that if you can't see it, you don't believe it. So for me, it's just being able to invest in myself and just take a chance on myself and see what could happen. So
right. It's awesome. Thanks for sharing that, and thanks for sharing today. So I know you've got some big goals, and now you know I'm watching. So you didn't even want to come on today because you wanted to wait till you had more accomplished. But I was like, you got a plenty accomplished. Come and share. But let's stay in touch, and we'll check back in a few months and see where you're at then. Sound good?
Sounds good. Yeah. Thank you
All
so
right,
much,
Willie.
Matt. Yeah.
You bet. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate you.
Likewise. Take care.
Oh, sorry to cut you off there. You said.
And I said take care and talk to you soon.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I'm playing trainer and producer here at the same time, so sorry about that. Okay, cool. So if you'd like to follow in Willie's footsteps and start building your passive income with real estate, you got two options. You can check out the free training that I created just for you at mattsfreetraining.com. Link is down below in the description. Or let's talk and customize something special for you, just like we did for Willie. You can do that at reiace.com. Alrighty, so that wraps up the show. If you found this episode valuable, who else do you know that might? There's a really good chance that you do know somebody else, and when their name comes to mind, please share with them. And if you haven't already, go ahead and click the subscribe button and ask them to click the subscribe button when they get here. I'll take great care of them, okay? God loves you, and so do I. Health, peace, blessings, and success to you. I'm Matt Terry.